These are the tiles that we chose. They're a type of clay or terracotta style tile. We wanted to originally put down wood flooring in here since it's a wood house, but it's very difficult to find wood flooring in Puerto Rico. And so we found this tile. I thought it would be a nice natural style that would kind of brighten up the house. The roof is already red, so kind of going with the red and brownish tones. We had to put this subfloor in. This is called paisen, or concrete backer board. First we had to put down some pega, what's the word in English?
Pega.
Pega. And,
or thin set.
Thin set, and then put down, screw it down. These are 3/4 inch thick boards, so they're huge. And then, and that was in order to kind of solidify the ground, because underneath that is just 3/4 inch wood panels. And so then once we have this, then we can start with the floor. To put down the floor, you have to put another layer of thin set. So the floor is actually very thick. You can kind of see over here where the door is, kind of how the whole thing goes together. So there's the lower level, and then the 3/4 inch concrete backer board, and then we'll have another level of tile, thin set, and then tile. And pretty soon this room will look quite a bit different. We're excited to see the final look. This will be the living room, this will be the kitchen, the bathroom.
So the first part is to put this mosaic in the middle. This is the very center of the room. So it was all measured out, and this is 18 inches. We'll be able to fit the other tiles right around the outside of it, on all 4 corners.
And Waldemar made two missing pieces. That one and that one. When we bought it, the design didn't have it.
So we were able to cut a couple pieces out and put it all together.
So these are
separadores.
¿Y para qué son? For the tiles. They're to separate the tiles from each other so that they're evenly spaced.
Sí. So this is how I mix thin set, or as they say in Spanish, it's pega. So here's the thin set that I'm going to use. And what I do is get a bucket and a drill with one of these mixers on the end, which is really nice, and some water. Put some water in the bucket. Doesn't take very much. I mean, there's quite a bit in here already. And then I pour the thin set in the bucket and then mix it. The consistency should be a little firm, but not soupy.
So here, Waldemar is spreading the thin set, the pega, in preparation for putting down the tiles.
So this is what happens when you make a mistake. We cut the first tile incorrectly around the mosaic, so they're all going to line up differently. So we're going to redo it. We have to take off all the pega, all the thin set. But it's good to catch these mistakes before it's dry. Much easier to fix.
Está bien caliente.
Sí, no.
¿Desde cuándo tú...?
De las 4 de la mañana. Ese tema tiene caliente.
Perfect.
Nice.
Here we are, almost done. Getting to the last corner of the kitchen, or what will be the kitchen. Yeah, looking good. Everything's straight. Everything's firm.
What were some things you had to take into account?
Pretty much just keep everything in line. We threw down one chalk line in the middle of the room and then laid everything out from that. As long as all the squares use the spacers, the lines are straight, spaced out, works great.
How do you check the levelness?
With a level.
Okay. And here's the design now.
Dile que lo que él quiera, Cassandra.
Okay. What do you want, Britton?
Finish the tiles and then start fachada aquí.
Todo.
Posible seco.
Sí. Cuando terminemos todo esto, eso se seca rápido la pega.
Sí.
Pega rápido, duro.
Sí, posible. Necesito comprar más pega.
¿Cuánto?
I was thinking 4 más bolsas.
Sí.
Kind of the residue that's left over. We cleaned up most of it, but unless you use a really clean sponge and water, you're gonna have a little bit of this left. So to get rid of it, I'm going to use one of these little scratch pads and a little bit of water at first and scrub off as much as I can. And then once I've got it fairly good there, I'm going to go over it with a mop and some vinegar. So here's the finished result of washing it with the vinegar and the water. As you can see, that cleans them up real nice. So I'll just have to do the whole floor now.
So here we are with the final product. The floors are all finished, they've been grouted, and right now we are just mopping up the grout that remained. We're using some white vinegar mixed with water, and so you can kind of tell in this room, I just started, but here's the difference between, you know, when the floors are still messy from the grout versus after they've been mopped. And sometimes they need a little bit more scrubbing when it's got some larger droplets on there, but it's coming up pretty good. All the floor turned out really beautifully, nice and level. When mixing the grout, you also want to just follow the directions to keep it even. We mixed it with a product called Portishead, and it was a sealer. So instead of water, we used that so that hopefully it will maintain the grout free of stains as much as possible. And another thing that we noticed when we finished was you can really tell how the straightness of the house was. So this turned out pretty well. There was only about maybe an inch missing, or about an inch off for the corner, and that's so you can tell when you do this. But otherwise, this way it went almost perfect. It's pretty rare to have such straight lines, so it turned out really well. And yeah, we're really excited. We just moved over the fridge and the stove. What are you doing over here?
Breaking tiles.
Oh.
Oh, ¿rompió? Rústico. Córtalo. A ver. Inténtalo.
So you want me to do it? Here we are, we're almost done.
Estúpido.
And Waldemar is in
Oh.
rare form.